Our question today is I have a seller that is asking me, what happens if you die? How will I know that my payments will continue to be made? And what should I tell them? Okay. Uh, sellers, for the most part, if you're dealing with truly motivated sellers, that's your first, in my opinion, your first go-to for creative buying is going to be sellers that have a high degree of motivation. Now, obviously, anyone that wants to sell a house has some motivation. But the people that have a pressing need are going to be your most likely to go the way that you want to go, which in this case, you're trying to buy the house subject to the existing financing. Uh, do sellers have to be extremely motivated to do it? No. Will most of them have a question like this? I'll tell you, I'm thinking about this. I've been doing this for 22 years, and I may have had half a dozen ask me this question. If they do ask you this question, my advice to you, or any hard questions like that, how do I know you'll make the payments? How can I trust you? What will happen if you don't pay? Be very, very honest with them. I mean, I'm honest to that question to the point, where, I mean, it is painfully honest. What'll happen if you don't make the payments? Well, Mr. Seller, if I don't pay, the bank is going to treat it just like you failed to pay. It's going to be on your credit report. Your credit is going to be toast, and the bank's going to sue you for the money. So you need to trust me and be able to, have faith in the fact that this is what we do. This is what we've been doing for a really long time. And we're going to make those payments for you. Now, what happens if I die? Well, and my answer to that would be, well, Mr. Seller, if I died, that would really suck. Okay. But understand this. We purchase your property in a trust. Okay. And that's your first protection. We're not going to buy this property in an LLC. We're not going to buy this property in our name. That's not what we do. We put it in a trust for your protection, for our protection. We will have an initial trustee that handles everything with this property. And we also have provisions for successor trustees in case something happens to the first one. First one gets hit by a truck. Believe me, there's somebody behind them to step right up and handle business as usual. Now, that's how I do business, and that's my reply to those questions. You may be different. If you don't use trust, you're going to have something else. And that may be that there are multi-members in your LLC, and the one that's appointed to take care of things, if something happens to them, there's someone in line behind them too. You may be the kind of person that uses a third-party servicing company, and that may be the reply that you want to give. Well, Mr. Seller, we use a third-party servicing company that handles all of our buyers' incoming payments. They make the payments to your mortgage company, and then they send the balance to us on our profit. So that company, there are multi-employees at that company. There's always somebody there to take care of that. There's no one person that something could happen to. That may be the answer to the question. My advice to you is to have something in place, obviously, that would take care of things if something happened to you. And secondly, be honest with your seller. Sellers that ask questions like this, first of all, it's a good thing. They're engaged with you. They care enough to want these questions answered. So that's a really good sign, instead of just saying, oh, no, I'm not interested in that sort of thing. But number two, they're looking for some kind of reassurance, and you can give them that. You need to be knowledgeable about what you're doing and really have these things in place so that they're taken care of, because that's really what it's all about. Someone contacted you, or they're talking to you about you buying in a manner that's not conventional, but they're interested and engaged enough to ask you the difficult questions. So don't worry about it. Answer it honestly. Put things in place to take care of your sellers, and you'll be just fine.